My criticism of Steve Drucker's book. It has been 4 years since I publicly criticized Steve Drucker's popular book on GMO and the corruption within the US-FDA, Food and Drug Administration, in approving this technology. I think it's a good time to revisit the issue. I had read the book thoroughly, having purchased a copy of it, and was not only disappointed but outraged at Drucker for missing the bus and sidestepping the 900-pound gorilla in the whole issue, which is glyphosate. For someone that singularly pursued corruption within the FDA for years about the GMO science, to have missed the main point that GMO was primarily invented to sell more glyphosate was incomprehensible and unacceptable in my judgment. Mr. Drucker was clearly not a stupid man, so his tiptoeing around glyphosate was not done through ignorance. It was done on purpose. This is why I was outraged. My criticism of the book and the author drew a lot of flack. I took a lot of hit, some of which were personal attack by people I knew. I lost many friends in the process. The general criticism against me was wide-ranging, that I was perhaps a closet spy and a hidden supporter of Monsanto, or that I was jealous of Drucker or Vandana Shiva, another talking head that I disapprove of, or I was just a rabble-rouser trying to gain popularity. I'm a stubborn man. I can be convinced to change my position with logic and reason, but damned if I was going to be intimidated by shouting and personal attacks. I'm better off without such friends. I even got an email exchange with Steve Drucker himself, the author. He too accused me of doing him a disservice. He said he had written 2 extra chapters on glyphosate for his book. For a book of 20-odd chapters, to have only 2 on glyphosate would have been insufficient in my view. But anyhow, according to Drucker, even those 2 chapters were dropped to follow the publisher's recommendation. I found the explanation to be a poor excuse and a betrayal of the cause. Today, several years down the line, glyphosate has come to the forefront of discussion and agitation around the world, and multiple court cases are ongoing. World Health Organization has declared it to be a probable carcinogen. Everybody is talking about it. But back then, I got viciously attacked for criticizing Drucker because he tiptoed around glyphosate and missed the bus. I have my right to criticize it as a reader and express my disappointment. I did so despite the wrath of my activist friends and despite the email from the author. I was not doing it to gain popularity. I do not need popularity because I am not planning to milk the system and take money from people and feed on their misery and ill health. I do not even think much about raising awareness. I think raising awareness has been greatly overhyped. Most people thus made aware do nothing useful anyway. I have, within my capacity, confronted politicians and governments on this issue. I have not been too successful because the mass movement of many people against rogue politicians has not taken off and is unlikely to take off as long as books like Drucker's and talking heads like Vandana Shiva continue to mesmerize the herd and lead it off track. This is my view. You do not need to believe it. You do not even need to see this video. I make it because there may be a few, perhaps even 1 in a million, that understands and might take the first tentative step in confronting her or his elected representative about food toxicity. That would be reward enough for me. My advice to that 1 in a million viewer is, stop bothering to read Steve Drucker, Vandana Shiva and all the rest. Get off your ass and do something direct about your non-functional democracy instead, where your own elected politician is poisoning your family. Thank you.